Or
see.
he also kind of like had ants in his pants every so
Oh
often.
my God, I haven't heard that in forever. Ants in your pants?
This isn't therapy. This is not therapy. This is not therapy. This is not therapy. This isn't therapy.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hi, and welcome back. It's really fun.
Flirty.
Fabulous.
Episode.
Of
This
isn't
isn't therapy.
therapy.
Glug, glug.
The podcast about all the stuff people are talking to their therapists about.
Yes.
My name is Jake Ernst, and I am a therapist.
And my name is Simon Palick, and I'm not a therapist. However, Jakey and I, we're just two friends who like to have conversations about therapy. So what we do each week on this podcast is we grab our grubby little manicured paws, we reach into the therapy room, we pull out a theme, a question, a query, a quandary, a factoid, something that is floating around in the culture, and then we just have a casual Kelly Couch conversation about it. Why?
Well, it's because therapy themes are everywhere you look.
That's right.
That's right. And today,
What are our therapy themes?
we'll be talking about the business
Yeah.
of calm.
Oh, what do you mean by that? Explain.
Hee ha ha.
Explain.
We're going to be talking about how calm, capital C, the company, may not be so calm when you pop open the hood a bit. Okay, we're going to get a bit controversial.
Choppy waters at calm.
Well, we're going to get a bit controversial. So we'll see. We'll see.
okay. Okay.
And then we're going to talk about how to make major life decisions.
Big.
Topical.
Topical.
In a really big way.
Topical and tropical.
Topical and tropical.
Speaking of.
Exactly.
And that we're going to be pulling from Reddit. There was a Reddit question
Good.
that I was like, ooh.
You know what I have to say? I love the articles we do. I love the movies and songs that we dissect. I love the lovely listener submissions.
Yeah.
But I also really have a really soft spot for the Reddit users.
Like all caps, LOVE, love the Reddit
Mainly-
questions.
Because they're just so raw and honest, and they
Yeah.
just have such a way of kind of getting right to the point and hitting it home. So I'm excited for segment 2. That'll be fun.
Well, I'm excited for segment 1 because you know that anytime that we challenge the wellness industrial complex, I am seated and I am fully wet.
And we are ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
So, well, let's do just
well,
that.
let's do what we say.
Let's do exactly what we say every
Okay.
single time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, listen, we're back.
Click. I just put my seatbelt on.
Buckle up, babe.
She is.
Buckle up, babe.
Ready to go?
Because I have
I love
to say,
that chapel song.
Listen, when I don't you
Love
dare. Don't you dare.
Buckle up, babe. Love it.
I have to say, when I found this article, I let out a bit of a gasp because
Why?
it literally just like that, because I was like, whoa, okay, Trouble in Paradise over at Calm app. Okay.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, Calm is this meditation app, and I was reading this article in Semaphore by Andrew Edgecliffe Johnson that is titled
Love their work.
that is titled Calm's CEO on the mental health struggle at the top of big companies. And so I thought, oh, interesting. There's something to explore here for sure, because surely even at a company like Calm, which is all about its namesake being calm and meditation, it is a company after all. And so the article goes a little something like this. As the CEO of Calm, I would tell you, it's not very calm these days, says David Coe. His company is best known for a meditation and sleep app that has been downloaded by 180 million consumers.
Wow.
But it has also built an enterprise business that now counts 5,000 companies as customers and a healthcare operation that works with insurers covering 50 million Americans. All that is to say is that it's a big company.
That's huge.
Now.
I didn't know that.
It's massive. Yeah, it's huge.
Okay.
Co's pitch to corporate partners is that the take-up rate for Calm's branded app can be 10 times higher than the adoption of mental health offerings in a traditional employee benefits plan. I don't know, baby. I'm just not so sure, but okay. That's his pitch.
Cool.
I'm not sure I'm catching the pitch, but
Got it. That's a straight.
that's a baseball joke.
Yeah, I know. And I just said one, right?
Oh, that's a strike. Yeah.
Okay.
More like a strikeout.
Oh, okay. Got it. Phew.
It goes on to say his message to ensures that his company can save costs in an overwhelmed healthcare system by identifying early whose anxieties can be eased with an app and who needs professional help.
I love that is the sell all the time. An already strained healthcare system. Here we are, the heroes coming on in a white horse, a commercially driven solution where we're trying to pretend that we're solving a problem. But in fact, we are just contributing to the problem in a real roundabout way.
I have a disclosure.
What?
I once did a brand deal partnership thing with Calm.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like I have to say that before people come for me.
Or you think people are going to come for you?
I don't know, but someone might say, well, Jake,
Did you?
remember that time you did that Pride event with Calm app?
You did? When did you do this?
I
Like 7 years ago?
Gosh, it was like 2021.
Girl, what did we all do in 2021?
I spoke at a virtual event, babe.
It's whatever.
And then I posted about it online. Anyway,
Okay. There are worse things that you could
it goes on to say, but Calm's push beyond the consumer business has also given Co insights into the fraying mental health of the people in charge of those employees. When Calm surveyed executives last September, it found many were stressed and sleep deprived. CEOs are struggling to switch off, Co says, and making high-stakes decisions while their mental batteries are drained. And that, he says, is affecting their own companies. So, when surveyed, 87% of the executives said they were okay, but when asked again more honestly, 48% felt overwhelmed and 24% reported anxiety or some sort of depression. Only 1 in 4 said they were sleeping well. Yeah, so this is sort of like turning our attention towards what happens in companies like Calm, what happens in all these sort of like C-suites, executive teams who are being tasked to lead these companies, but they themselves are not practicing what they preach or can't necessarily implement some of what is being asked of them, or they're even their consumers, right? And so lastly, what emerges is a branding paradox where they've monetized inner peace while executives themselves are in chronic fight or flight mode. So I think about kind of the trickle down economics of this, right? Think about like, who are the employees underneath of these executives and what are their jobs, or what do their day-to-days look like, right? And so it turns out in therapy, I see a lot of people who are sort of in companies like this, where at the top, there is a really big struggle to maintain productivity, to maintain quotas. They obviously have a board to answer to, so they want to make sure that all of their numbers are in good order. And the trickle-down effect of that is that there are a lot of stressed-out employees too. And so there's this sort of big flag that he's raising, which is that the leaders of these companies are really stressed. They're underslept. They're tasked with making key decisions, but their mental health isn't always in the greatest place.
Yeah.
And therefore, we should also mention that a lot of the employees underneath of them experience the trickle down of that, which is that now they're overworked, often understaffed on these teams. And it sort of becomes a sort of big corporate exercise in how can we monetize mental health? But again, at the end of the day, we're a corporation and a company who's profit driven. And unfortunately, a lot of those profit-driven things are based in exploitation of people. And so there is a cost to that, right? People do feel the effects of that when they're spending too much time working and not enough time focused on taking care of themselves. So,
Can I ask a big question that you may or may not know the answer to?
Sure.
If there's a problem in the culture, in the society, whatever it may be.
In the society.
Let's just say it's one of the issues is loneliness.
Sure.
Something like that. Can business bring about a solution?
Well, they certainly try to.
But I mean an actual solution. Not exploiting the problem to create profit. even if they start off thinking they are solving the problem, all roads lead to the bottom line. How is there ever a scenario or a situation in the world where commercialism and capitalism can be part of the solution?
Well, let's think about some examples that we see today. So we see some B Corps, which are the certified ethical corporations, like Ben and Jerry's in Patagonia. They are in the business of ice cream and clothing and hiking apparel, respectively. And they also have a social mission as well. And so they're not just making products or making food. They also have a corporate commitment to targeting really important social issues. And so that's where we see, for example, a company like Patagonia saying, for a long time, we really thought that our work was just in making hiking apparel. But we actually realized that even just in the production of our clothing, we're also contributing to the problem of climate change in our development and production of what we think is really important for the hiking community. And so that's why they now participate a lot, Patagonia, in their social activism around climate change. So whether it's in the sourcing of their materials or the partnerships that they create, they're a certified ethical company, one that has a duty and a mandate to, and they want to keep that seal. They want to keep that B Corp status. And they also, again, have their own internal standards and regulations that they do in order to get there. A lot of these other companies, let's say, whether it's anything from ComApp to Talkspace to any of these other sort of mental health or AI companies that are being released now, they don't have those same internal standards. They don't, or they may say they do, but they don't have the same seal that sort of says you have to operate this way. And so we're seeing a big emergence of those B Corps, those companies that want to also have a social mission attached to their work because they know the social effects, the cost of that. They also know that there's a big return on their investment when they do. They know there are a lot of people who want to buy those ethical products, but unfortunately, at least right now in healthcare, the mission or maybe even just the existence of those apps sort of would suggest like, well, we're doing it anyway, right? We're helping people be calm. We're helping people's mental health. Talkspace, we're helping people talk about it, right? So we're providing therapists to millions of Americans across the States, right? So I think in a way you could look at it and say, sure, they're doing social good, but how would we define that social good? That would be my question. Like, how are we defining that social good? And is this actually something that we need? Or like you're suggesting, are you exploiting a social problem?
Or are you doing both at the same time? Because I wonder if like, listen, I don't pretend to have all the answers to the world's problem in any way. I'm just a wee traveler.
I'm just a guy.
I'm just a traveler going through this. I just wonder if like, let's say climate change, for example. Let's just pick climate change, right? From what I've understood, consumption is our problem, is part of the problem. So I don't understand how purchasing some more of something will solve the problem.
Clock it.
Because consumption is part of the problem. We have to reduce our consumption.
Say it again.
We have to reduce our consumption. We have to reduce our consumption.
You know what I just got a flashback to?
What?
Those like 90s, 2000s, like
That's what I was giving.
like milk ads.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They used to, or those people that used to come to did you ever have the hip hop people that used to
Yes.
come to school? What were they called?
I don't know.
It was so
I know
cringe.
exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my
I just
God.
can't find it.
Yeah, it was like a backwards hat wearing.
Yes, I just can't find it in the
Girly
filing
pop.
cabinet. I can't find it.
You're like, what was it called? And they wore a blue tracksuit,
What
right?
is it called? What is it called? What is it called?
Something.
I can't get there.
But you're that person.
I am that person.
You're the person who's traveling around
You
with
want to know what's
with
interesting?
suitcase theater, being like, "Hey kids,
Do you want to know
let me
what's?
tell you about."
Can I tell you a few
Yeah, yeah.
stories about this?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Well, it's
you-
just you and me talking.
Yeah,
In the room.
exactly. So I am that person. I do travel to schools and I do talk about that. I would say that my biggest fear in going there isn't just the like talking to teenagers on a stage, but although some people that's their nightmare. It is the perception of me coming in as this drunk driving guy. I think about my high school experience, and that was some really important messaging to have at that time, and a really important assembly. And I remember that we had the assembly, but I don't necessarily remember exactly how they said stop drinking and driving.
Yeah.
But in any case, I go into these schools and I'm kind of like, ooh, am I the drunk driving guy coming in?
I think you are.
I think I am too.
I think you
and
are.
I've had to come
You're
to,
Officer Mike.
I've had to come
coming
to peace
in.
with that a little
Yeah.
bit. And I've also realized I found a hack, and this is maybe the second story. I found a bit of a hack, is that I started showing up as this like, I'm a therapist, and so therefore you should trust me as a health expert. And I've recently stopped doing that because I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to share some things that are rooted in science and things that do have facts behind them. And then you as teenagers, you can make your choices. I'm not here to force you to change. I'm not here to like make you become this different person or this ethical person or this person who gets off social media because it's bad and it's a little bit like cigarettes from the 80s and 90s. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to tell you some things that I'm interested in, and I'm hoping that it will have some impact. And so then I think about where we're kind of at, like in this conversation. I just think about fascinating what happens when corporations and companies now start participating in that, either in the education or in the intervention of like, let's help people make these changes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do think we're onto something here, which is that these things won't change unless there's a big profit incentive to do so. But we shouldn't be shocked that like at a company, it's a company at the end of the day. So its employees are going to be having an experience of being at work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a way to make that go away. Though I think many companies will hire, right? They hire consultants, they hire the health professionals to come in and educate their employees about work-life balance and stress and all the mental health stuff. If you've been in a corporation, you know what that looks like. Again, I've done a lot of those talks too. And I've been the let's hire Jake for mental health week and hope that cures our anxiety and depression. But maybe I'm being a bit too, maybe I'm also not being a bit too generous. I don't think that people think it's going to cure anxiety and depression by bringing me in.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is sort of like a, let's have the conversation. Let's keep the conversation going. And maybe that's what it is.
I see like, well, the building's on fire. We need to call the firefighter. And then we'll like triage after. So if you sometimes I feel like you're the firefighter that gets called in.
Yeah.
Because we have to call somebody.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, this is going to take a while to rebuild this.
Yeah.
And then that's where the real work is.
Yeah.
But to bring it back full circle.
I've been getting a lot of calls for nudes on Snapchat lately. A lot of schools are calling me.
Oh, sorry. You missed a very important part of that sentence. You just said
I've been getting a lot of calls
about nudes. And I was like,
yeah.
huh.
Yeah.
That's the soundbite. That's what you want to go for, eh?
Yeah. And that is a concern that I do have, that is becoming a bit too normal and a bit too common
Right.
in schools. But in any case, I digress.
Bring it back to corporations stepping in to provide what should be, like, what do you think is could be one of the solutions then?
Listen, this company found a hole in the market, which is that many people don't know how to meditate and they need some help with doing so. And a lot of these guided meditations that maybe we're seeing in audiobooks or YouTube at the time weren't just necessarily doing the job. And so they found a hole in the market and they filled the gap with a company, and it became really popular because, number one, it has a good promise attached to it, which it will help you become more calm. It'll help you sleep better. It'll help you manage your emotions better and get to know your inner world a lot better. The promise is incredible. The promise is great, but that is also the promise and marketing behind therapy. And so I think what this company is figuring out, and many companies like it, is that there's a pretty big risk that happens when you bring people into this space, this app, and then promise them something, which therapy would never do. Promise them an outcome, which is that implicitly, which is that it'll help you be more calm. And then what happens, right, when you're confronted with real life, which is that employees are having an experience at work that is not calm. That's kind of where I land on it. I mean, I don't know what else to say in terms of Yeah, that's that on that. You know, you're all caught up,
You're all caught up, and that's what you missed on Glee.
and that's what missed on Glee.
I have more questions, but I feel like we should move on, or
I
else
think so too.
I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole.
I think so too. Like, and maybe we can make an effort to help us resurface too in the second segment. I just
Well, I
don't
know an app that we could use.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Good. I don't know. I just feel like we're in this weird time where it just is so heavy at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to contribute to that. I hate to be that person that's just like
too.
pointing out problems and being like,
what's the solution?
this
then?
is what's wrong here.
Yeah, but
This
that's
is-
the thing
this
too.
is
It's like
awful."
I'm not criticizing people who are using this.
No,
to-
oh, no.
like not at all. I'm
No,
like,
no,
we
no.
all need to survive.
No, no, no.
And it's like,
No, no,
I
no.
think it's just more so the critique about like, or for me, the question that I have is like, can profit-driven companies provide solutions if the solution necessarily would require them to take a hit on their profit?
Yes. And the fascinating thing for me is that branding paradox, which is that you've cornered the market in terms of this word calm.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, you're also kind of profiting off of the use of that term. And so now there's this whole business model that kind of gets drummed up here, and where, well, what happens when things are not so calm all the time,
Yeah.
my love? What does that look like? In any case, we'll take a big sigh together. We'll take deep breaths, big sighs together.
Big sigh.
And we get to hear from a Reddit
We do
user
in like
So,
a really big way.
in a really big way.
Okay.
All right, let's honestly let's transition
In like a really
in a really big way. Honestly, Grant, clip
Honestly,
that.
Grant clip that
And now we bring to you from the This Isn't Therapy studios.
from Reddit.
Yes.
And the way that I'm holding my phone like a boomer, I have to because the document doesn't. There'll be a way to fix it.
honestly, sister, just do it.
Okay.
Sister, be yourself. At the end of the day, Cheryl,
Honestly, Cheryl,
be yourself.
because everyone else is taken.
Be yourself.
Top girl Melissa over here. Okay, here we go.
We should do all of that all over again.
We do what?
Everything that we just did.
Why?
I'm just obsessed with what just happened.
Okay.
I love being in that space with you,
Okay.
sister.
Let's redo it.
Yeah. we should
Every
do that
copy
all
paste
over
that.
again. Yeah.
Honestly, let's
We
put a paywall behind that.
We should do all of that all over again.
Okay, love that. Okay, right. So Reddit. So this question came. The question was basically, how do you make a major life decision? And so it got me kind of thinking about like when do you know when to trust your gut? Like, what is that? Like, how do you learn to do that? And I'm not saying we're gonna figure it out today, but I want to have that conversation. So the Reddit user asks, how do you make major life decisions? Like what city do you live in, what profession to change to, and many more. I hope this is not too open-ended. I was thinking about some major upcoming decisions and realized that many people probably just spend a small amount of time and with limited context while making such decisions when then promoted the question. So do you have a system? And has that worked for you? Do you stretch the decision out, stretch the decision making out over a period of time? How do you gather the information you need to make this decision? How does gut feel or what's in your heart factor into this? And how do you even learn to trust your gut?
Ooh,
Yeah.
trusting your gut.
So what if we start here? How do you what is happening, I guess, maybe the very general, but like when you're at a crossroads of a major life decision, what is happening? I don't know, like if from your POV, like, because the experience, because we've all been at major life decisions before, but for me, it's like, oh my God, I get so caught up in like the whirlwind of it all. And
Yeah.
I feel very like, I can't see the future.
Yeah.
I can't see the life outcome. And therefore this feels like a big decision because it's either I go left or I go right, and I don't know which one it is. And it just feels so overwhelming. So what is happening there?
Okay. Do you want the nerdy science answer, or do you want like the 5th grade version?
Oh my God, talk nerdy to me.
Okay.
You know I love
Okay.
that.
Okay. So our brain develops from the bottom to the top
Hey.
and the back to the front.
Forget about it.
Yeah, the back to the front, my guy.
Forget
Exactly.
about it. Okay.
So when you're in the top and the front of your brain,
Yeah.
that could be called like the attic of your brain. That is the executive function part of your brain. That's the prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
That is what helps you make rational decisions, logical choices, because you're able to use the top and the front of your brain to weigh the pros and cons. Daniel Kahneman wrote a book called Thinking Fast and Slow.
Oh my God, love his work.
He won a Nobel Prize for it because it's actually like pretty revolutionary.
Right.
He discovered that we have two types of thinking. We have system 1 and system 2 thinking. System 1 thinking is more fast, more immediate, more gut oriented. It's more of the like impulsive, reactive type of thinking and acting. System 2 thinking is using the top and the front of our brain, which is a lot slower. It's a lot more thoughtful. It's a lot more thought out. It's probably a lot more methodical, and not so impulsive. And so we actually need both of those systems in our brain, all humans, to make good choices. And so impulsively, if we just rely on instinct alone and just our gut reaction, then that results in a lot of system 1 thinking where we're just reacting to life and just reacting very fast. You can see how that could be a thinking error and how that could get you into some trouble. We need system 2 thinking for the moments that probably actually do require a lot more of our attention and probably a lot more thought that needs to go into that decision. So where I kind of think about this, that nerdy kind of answer, I think about, okay, am I in system 1 or am I in system 2? And if you spend too much time making decisions from a place of system 1, then that leaves you more prone to the mental health stuff. Because again, that's the bottom of your brain, the really early primitive part of your brain that develops first. And that is where survival mode lives. That's fight or flight. That's your stress response stuff. But as you get more higher order, the top and the front of your brain, that is system 2 thinking. So sometimes people are just making decisions from system 1 and they're just kind of reacting really fast. But we want to get ourselves to that place of system 2. So for a big life decision, I imagine it's a combination of both system 1 and system 2. So you want to hear the information from what does system 1 tell me? What does my gut say? What do my spidey senses say about this? How do I feel about this? What is my initial reaction to this? My immediate knee-jerk reaction may be like, ooh, no, I don't want that. Or, ooh, that's really scary. Or, ooh, that's really exciting. I should do that. Sometimes what can happen, though, if we just live in system 1, it's not fully thought out. So then we want to go into the higher order thinking of, okay, maybe we should make a pros and cons chart and actually weigh some pros and cons here. Many people do that in their head anyway, but sometimes it's helpful to do that on paper. But that's sort of a more systematic, logical way to weigh the benefits or the cons of a decision. And so again, when you have the decision, you might want to also think about what type of decision. So let's go back to the lovely listener story and think about what sort of decisions might they be talking about? What are these big life decisions, do you think? I mean, obviously things like moving cities or maybe should I get a new job?
That's what I'm pulling from the thing. It was
Yeah.
talking about like, should I leave? Like where to live? Should I get a new job?
Should I end this relationship is a common one.
Yeah.
Should I do a career change despite...
Should I have kids? Should I not have kids? Like big things like that. Should I buy that house? Should I... Yeah.
That is tough, right? Because I think... And I do think it's backed by science, but it's certainly not like an evidence-backed claim. But I'm just saying, I think a lot of the ways that we make decisions will reflect and mirror how our family members made decisions. So we typically tend to take the blueprint, right, from the people that raised us. And so the way our parents solved problems, the way our parents made choices, I do think does influences the way that we make choices. And so first we want to kind of think about like, is this really me making this choice? Or am I just kind of taking the script that I had from the past? Am I just drawing on the blueprint that I kind of got from my dad? Like, is this how my dad would solve this problem? Is this how my mom would solve this problem? And so often we're holding that same script that members of our family did.
And why is that important to consider when we're at this crossroads moment?
Because sometimes if those decisions were made from a place of system 1, when they need to be made from a place of system 2, we need to be aware of that. That just because our mom did it that way or our dad did it that way doesn't mean that it's correct necessarily, especially if it was really impulsive or really reactive or really kind of like, you know, I'm thinking about situations in families where decisions are made just really fast without a lot of thought to them, and maybe did require a bit more system 2 thinking in that scenario. So let's say, for example, this lovely listener is like, should I get a new job? That might be informed by how many jobs or how many job switches their family members had. Maybe they're kind of at the 5-year mark being like, oh yeah, like my dad moved around a lot, or like really also got his,
Oh, I see.
or
I see.
he also kind of like had ants in his pants every so
Oh
often.
my God, I haven't heard that in forever. Ants in your pants? Whoa.
Bring back
that
this-
just brought me bring back ants in your pants.
Bring back ants in your pants.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There was a whole song about that.
Yeah.
Why you have tapped into something in my brain. Wasn't there a song about
Oh, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah.
So I'm only just connecting it back to family because around the problem solving piece, around like, how did members of your family sit with discomfort? How did they sit with fears or anger or worry?
Yeah.
And how does that impact my decision today, right now, in this moment? That just because maybe that was their way of doing things doesn't mean it has to be your way of doing things.
Right.
So maybe this is an opportunity to depart from the way that family members do things. Or maybe this is actually a really good instruction manual for living life, which is that, no, this is a situation that you should be a bit more careful and cautious about. And so it does require a bit more thought and does require a bit more planning. And so in fact, the fear from system 1 is actually guiding me right towards system 2, which is, no, there's a lot of good information here that I need to think about. And I do need to slow down, actually. And so thank you, system 1. Thank you, mom,
So
for
even
getting me there.
So even if system 2 is not necessarily exactly the response that a system 1 reaction would bring about,
Right.
system 1 information is still helpful.
Very.
Like you don't
Yes.
negate it. Even if it's opposite, it's still information
Yes.
that will help you get to system 2, which is where you want to make that decision, that big life decision from.
Yes.
Interesting.
The big error that I see is that oftentimes we treat system 1 stuff as instructions. So we feel fear, and so therefore we feel like, okay, I'm not going to go to the party.
Right.
Or we feel angry, so therefore I have to talk to them, I have to address it. Right? So emotions aren't instructions, right? System 1 stuff isn't instructions, it's information.
Oh!
Yeah, you want
I love a Jakey soundbite. Oh, it makes me wet. Like I am sopping wet. That is so good.
Let's go to system 2 and slow it down. What are you tell me what you're sorting through? What's
I think
happening?
because but you know what pops into my brain a lot?
Sure.
Is that I think the colloquial phrase of just like trust your gut, which I think is important, right? Like, but I think what I'm hearing from you is you're not saying negate. You're not saying the opposite of that. What you're saying is trust your gut, as in trust your gut reaction as a source of information.
use the information.
But it does
Yeah.
not have to be the thing that you act upon.
Yes.
So it almost feels like you just kind of like, oh, someone didn't complete the sentence when they say that, like trust your gut.
Yeah.
But trust your gut doesn't just mean respond in the first thing like that you want to do. It just
Totally.
means trust that initial response as information, but that does not mean you have to respond and react in that initial way.
I think about it like receiving mail. Like you receive the mail, you want to open the mail and get the information, but it doesn't mean you have to do something with it right away. Or more contemporary, maybe.
Yeah,
an
no,
email. Maybe
I don't
it's
want
an email.
contemporary. I want you to go
Maybe
further
it's
in
an
the
email.
past.
Yeah.
I want you to go further in the past.
You receive the carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
Make sure you untie it
Yeah,
from
yeah.
its little ankle.
Yeah.
And make sure you open that note.
Okay, one more. Go
You
even further into
you
the past.
unflap-
Go
yeah.
further into the past.
Listen, you got the rock thrown at your head.
Yeah, because we're in the caves.
There's an inscription on that rock.
This is pre-text, so it's mostly a drawing.
There's an inscription on that rock, and do you want to know what it says?
What's it say?
It says, System 1, babe.
Got it.
Don't forget.
Don't forget that.
Use the information.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love this BC era
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah.
BC system 1, sister.
Yes. Before Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love her.
BC era.
BC before Jesus.
Jesus. I pray to Jesus.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so the moral of the story
Yeah.
is that we have system 1 available, we have system 2 available. We have to make sure that we're also accessing the system 2 stuff, because that's where what we've evolved to do, right? Is
Right.
to do that higher order thinking.
Okay, can I ask you a question just
Yeah.
before we wrap up this segment? What are some ways that you can help transition, or are there some like jot it down? Like are there some practical things that one can do to help like go from system 1 into system 2?
Ooh, good question. I think this is going to sound so cringy. I think we've overheard this quote so many times, and it's often misattributed as well.
Is it look for the leaders? What is that one called? What is that one called?
Look for the helpers.
Look for the helpers.
Look for the helpers.
Look for the helpers.
I've honestly always said that.
You always say look for the helpers and let them.
Honestly, let them.
Honestly, let
let
them.
them. Let them.
Let them.
Let them. Sister, let them.
And look for the helpers.
Honestly,
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? The misattributed quote. Oh yeah. Often I think it gets attributed to Viktor Frankl, which is like in between.
I know Bethany Frankel.
In between. Yeah.
Is it the same?
Bethany Frankel.
Is it the same?
It's
Of the
her
skinny girl.
It's her dad. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it's her dad.
Got it.
It's the quote around in between. Oh geez, I'm gonna butcher it. In between stimulus and response, there's a space. The space to pause, the space to slow down. Blah blah blah
I've
blah.
never
blah.
heard this before.
Oh really? Jeez.
So this is new.
Honestly, no. This is the place where I bring quotes. When I go, have you heard the quote? And you go, no, Mary.
This is the first time I'm hearing
It's
it.
the first time. It must not be real.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a quote that is often used a lot. You'll find it on like billboards and posters for people's walls. But it's true. In between stimulus and response, there's a little space. So in between system 1 and system 2, you have the space, and you should insert that space if it doesn't come naturally to you. And so if you want to pause, you want to take a beat and slow down and say, what am I missing here? Is there an opportunity for me to reflect a bit more? I've been kind of doing a lot of research lately, just from writing my book, around the difference between reflection and rumination. And I don't think we talk about that enough, that a lot of what is the case is that a lot of what people think is self-reflection is actually just rumination. It's actually just overthinking and getting yourself into this like spinning your tires situation.
Right.
But we want to move to that place of reflection where we can actually reflect and think clearly, accurately about a situation and not just ruminate and spin on it all the time.
Right.
Because that's system 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So does reflection often lead to a decision that is made and then you move on?
Yeah. So reflection here, the key is action. So just thinking about something, that's not doing.
Right.
Thinking isn't doing.
Thinking isn't doing.
Right. We've talked about that. But
We
thinking
have.
isn't doing, which means that you have to pair it with an action. And so that's where system 2 can be helpful, because in order to get there, in order to get to that place of action, you actually have to have a plan and you need to attach the action to it. And so just thinking about it, you're probably still in system 1. And so we want to move to system 2, where you're kind of weighing pros and cons and then ultimately reaching a plan, like a conclusion. So you can turn that into behaviors, into real life.
Okay, I
any
see.
case, yeah.
Well, what I hear is it's great to have your knee-jerk reaction, take that as information, pause, and wait for almost like because I know I'm just talking purely for not survival mode, but I'm talking like when you're faced with a major life decision, it's often one that you probably shouldn't make right away,
Totally.
right? Like you need to take time. I feel as though time is your friend, right?
Absolutely.
In some ways, as long as that time is used to not say it again, remunerate?
Ruminate.
Ruminate.
Yeah.
Ruminate.
Please welcome to the stage. Ruminate. Paul.
Ruminate.
Ruminate, Paul.
I know that word, but it's one of those difficult ones to pronounce for me.
Ruminate.
Ruminate.
Tip of the tongue, teeth of the lips.
The lips, the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. All right. So before we go, I want you to thread the needle between the CEO, calm CEO, and how to make a major life decision.
You know, sometimes I think we find ourselves backed into a corner, feeling not so calm, whether that's at work, whether that's with family, and we find ourselves in a crisis, in a moment of panic, trying to figure out what we need to do about it.
Right.
And so we can either go the path of system 1, which is I'll default to what I know and just make a really fast reaction
Mm-hmm.
and just do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can slow it down, find my calm,
Mm-hmm.
TM, and go into system 2 and
Okay.
say, here's my way forward.
I love that.
And I've always said that in
You've
a really,
always said
in a
that.
really big way, in the biggest
no,
way.
in like a big way.
In
What
the-
was the Bethany Frankel quote you said? That.
Yeah.
Friggin' that.
Buy Skinny Girl vodka.
Buy Skinny Girl.
Exactly.
Love that.
Listen,
Families are crazy.
Listen. that has been the running theme, the running joke. Have you?
Amen, sister.
Okay, well, let's wrap.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up. Let's get into the final seggy.
Final seg. We'll see you
Here
there.
we go. See you there.
Hey, Queen.
Hey.
Listen, if you thought you just had to take your problems to a therapist,
No.
you probably forgot that you could also just take them to a friend.
Yeah.
You could just take them to someone who, gives you good advice or maybe not so great advice.
Right.
You could listen to a podcast where they give you advice or maybe not so great advice.
Yeah.
Or you could also just tune into
Asking for a friend. Cue the music. Wow, that was like fully ad-lib.
Wow, I really tried
You also
that.
gave no information.
I
about-
really tried that. Listen, so if you're new here, Asking for a Friend is the part of the program where we
Yeah, go back on
resurface-
script.
Where we resurface, we come up for a breath of fresh air
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of every episode. And this is where you, the lovely listener, has submitted your questions,
Mm-hmm.
your queries, your quandaries right into our question box. You can find that on Instagram or our socials.
Yeah,
where you
link in
can,
bio.
even just in the show notes of this episode, Mary.
Yeah.
You can go there, click that, and you can ask us a question also.
So today's lovely listener submitted this question, and I'm going to read it. Okay, controversial, but I'm tired of thrift stores. Okay.
Honestly,
And how everyone is like into this thrifty aesthetic. Like sometimes you just look gross in that moldy sweater. Like I'm not pro fast fashion, but I just feel tired that everyone is trying to out unique each other. I don't know. Is that bad? I don't know
Oh.
what the question is, but
tell us. Okay, number one, is that bad that you hate thrift stores? I don't think you.
I don't think you hate.
I don't
thrift
think you hate
stores.
thrift stores.
No.
Sister. I think you were just done with the idea of people overusing them
Yeah.
and maybe even getting a bit competitive
Mm.
in who has the most unique or most thrifty
Mm.
fashion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that bad? No, I don't think it's bad. I think maybe you are wanting to reserve thrift stores for people who need them,
Yeah.
or maybe you're a bit upset,
That conversation.
or maybe you're a little bit upset that the thrift stores don't have what you're looking for
Mm.
in your pursuit to also compete.
Yeah.
That could be happening.
Whoa.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you remember when I popped off at Value Village that time?
I do.
A moon ago?
I do.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
TLDR of that is I walked into a Value Village boutique, which is ridiculous. And
Which is like a thrift store for middle class people.
yeah, which I'm just
Yeah.
like, what are we doing here?
You know-
We've
you know,
lost the plot.
Stop it.
We have lost the plot
Literally stop. That's called a clothing store, Mary.
at that point,
Yeah.
at those prices. And there was a shirt that was on a mannequin, and it was a nice shirt, and I wanted it. So I was like, oh, I'll buy that. So I'd like gone up to the cashier, and I was like, hey, can I just grab that? I'm going to buy it. And they were like, we're not allowed to take it off the mannequin. And I was like, excuse me? They're like, we're not allowed to take it off the mannequin. And this is a Thursday, by the way, I think. Fact check me. I've told this story before on the pod. And they were like, we're not going to take it off until Monday. So Monday at 9:30 a.m., you can come to the store and you could pick it up then if you want, because that's when we switch all the mannequins. And I was like, what in the what? And I make it a habit not to get upset at minimum wage employees because they're just doing their job.
I
Right.
make it a habit.
I make it a habit not to
I
get
make it a
upset at them.
habit.
Well, because I don't want to shoot the messenger. Because it's like
Previously, it was a bad habit.
Yeah, it was a bad habit. Well, because it's not them,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
That's not coming from them. It's coming from like top down.
Yeah.
And so that I was just like, that is the stupidest thing I've heard in a while, because you're just like, what do you mean?
Do you have like the behind the curtain reason, like why they wouldn't let you just take it?
I think what it was the premium items, I actually don't. I'm speculating. The premium items, like the really cool looking ones, it's like you put the prettiest fruit in the window
The
to
ones
draw
that-
people in.
The ones that bring the people into the store.
Yeah, so I think they use it as like, here's the prettiest item in the store to draw people in, and then we're gonna swap it out because we still have to sell it. But because it's a thrift store, air quotes, there's only one of the items, so it's not like multiple items. So I think that's why they have to rotate it, because that item has to sell eventually.
I love that you did the "how much is that doggy in the window" thing,
Wow.
and then they said, "No, there's no doggy in the window."
But I was like, but that's the thing
you
that
can't
pissed
buy
me
the
off the
doggy.
most. Where I was like, why did you create a hierarchy in a space that is not actually meant to have this? Like the whole idea was supposed to like make clothing like a Haslow pyramid of need thing, right? Like a fundamental need. Why
you just wanted to buy the doggy in the window.
but why did you make it? That store, that institution was there to lower the barrier so more people that need the like lower
Yes.
income folks could purchase clothing.
Yes.
But now it's been co-opted.
Now suddenly it becomes this bigger scheme.
And now it's, I can't buy that shirt because that's, you know, like that's the premium shirt. You can go over there to the other shirts.
Peasant.
Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, for
and
sure.
but it just felt like, wait, this is so obviously hypocritical.
I know.
Especially like look around where we are and look at the clientele,
So odd.
right? Like,
What an odd policy.
what a weird thing.
And the other thing too that stood out to me in this question from
I just popped off. I
no,
didn't
it's
even
okay.
answer the question.
It's okay. I love when you pop.
Hmm.
I love when you pop off.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing that stood out to me was sort of the question around like, am I wrong for being annoyed about this culture we've created about out uniquing each other,
Yeah, not at
or
all.
with being the most interesting person in the room, and I have to use my fashion and clothing to explain how complex
The
I am.
moldy sweater.
Yeah,
that
right.
got me.
That was funny. That was
funny.
That was top tier comedy.
Sometimes it's just gross. It's a moldy sweater.
It was top tier comedy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a rip sweater. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. Yeah,
It doesn't look good.
yeah. It's time
Yeah.
to retire. The
But
rip
I don't know.
sweater.
I don't like. I like clothes, but I'm definitely a follower. Like I don't know.
Right.
Like I'm not leading the charge
Right.
in what's fashion.
But I think what the lovely listener is asking is, am I wrong for calling into question this weird new subculture that gets created when we're all trying to be so different and unique
Yeah.
that we, outsource all these little bits and bobs to do so?
Yeah.
And thrift stores being one of them, where at one point they were looked down upon. They were looked at. I remember when I was growing up,
Yeah. Totally. Same.
it became this sort of bigger thing that people could get bullied for
Yeah.
wearing clothing from, let's say, Value Village or from Salvation Army kind of thing, which is interesting because my family also shopped there and we also enjoyed shopping there for the reason that this lovely listener is talking about, which is that there's actually some pretty dope items there.
Yeah.
Some pretty awesome clothing that's there. Anyway, in any case, I don't think that you're wrong, lovely listener.
Yeah.
I don't think that you're a bad person.
That's funny. Well,
I kiss you.
I kiss you.
I kiss you.
Bisou, bisou.
Yeah, exactly.
Bisou, bisou.
In any case, thank you for submitting the question. And if you
Yeah.
have a question that you want to submit, you can get in touch with us. You can go to the link in our bio. You can see the show notes for any valuable links that you need to click. And you can like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. Sorry, I spaced out. I was still thinking about
It's
that
okay, I
shirt.
wasn't
I was
here.
thinking about that shirt. And I was like, wait, am I part of the problem too?
You're like,
'Cause
wait,
I went into that store to go buy that shirt. Am I part of the problem? Am I the villain?
Am I the villain?
Tune in next week.
Am I the drama?
Well, thank you for being here, lovely listeners. And you can follow us at This Isn't Therapy. Like, comment, subscribe, like Jakey said. We love to hear from you. So the more we hear from you, the happier we are. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And finally,
Yes.
one final question.
One more. Okay.
How much is
Is
that
the dog
doggy
in the window? I think it was like $40, which is absurd for Value Village.
The
like,
dog in the window?
That dog in the
Oh.
window, that shirt.
Wow.
I'm still on the shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, well, no, $40 for a dog?
Who is having that
Who's
conversation?
having that conversation?
Okay,
Not us.
bye.
Okay, bye.
This isn't therapy.
How is this so long, this episode?